Jared, the good and bad from this past Saturday, and what can you fix and what is just talent related?
Sure. I mean, you can always fix it. I think we is the key word. We can always fix things. Of course, the good, which is easier to talk about, is to come out of halftime, in the drive there at half with a field goal and come out of half and score on two drives and do things as an offense that we believe we should do better and more consistently. That's the thing we have to challenge ourselves as a staff and as players to make sure we come out and do the same to start the game. Pretty easy to see to start the game that certainly could have went the other way very quickly in our favor. And sometimes that's just the way it goes, But quickly and making plays and getting our guys in position, you feel very strongly about being able to get that done and really start that game the right way. And sadly enough, it didn't. So you got to respond, and we needed to respond quicker so we didn't have to play as much catch-up in the second half. So proud of the guys for their response and how hard they played in the second half to try to put ourselves back in it. It was just a little bit too little too late. But you can, it's our belief that you can't always fix it. And there's things we've got to do better because at the end of the day, we've got to be better on offense to put ourselves in position to win those games. And nobody's aware of that more than me.
Let's talk about making some of the easy plays, right? Like just hitting guys when they're open and making catches, things like that. I imagine that can be both frustrating and encouraging because that's an easy fix, right? Like just, make the simple play guys, but also frustrating that it's at this point in the season that those things still kind of pop up.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it is. That's the honest, it is. It's hard. You certainly don't want to ever turn on the film as a coach and or player, but certainly as a coach and be like, well, heck, where were they to make? Does that make sense? That's just an honest answer. Like if you look and do that, whew, you know what I mean? But it also hurts worse to be able to look at it on the plane ride home and say, oh, my goodness, we're able to look at it and say we're right there and could have really put that thing and flipped the other way. So I don't know if it sure didn't make me sleep any better. But you look at it and see that we're really that close to being able to put that thing to where you do get the game into the 30s and feel strongly about a performance. And that is how it is when we're in a position where we are, when you're that close and it's that fragile on where you can get the thing to. Unfortunately, that you never look at 12 plays, it's 4 or 5, and in that game, those critical plays sometimes happen earlier sometimes than later, and they were critical. And so what's the answer, right? Respond, move forward, and try to go get those plays back this weekend.
Kaden Prather saw his most extensive action. Your thoughts of him as his growth continues over the season?
Well, he's done it the right way, and compliments to our older guys that have helped him get to that point and just bring him along the right way. I think sometimes we as coaches make mistakes of playing a guy too early, too soon, based off of a lot of different things and variables that go into it. He's learned that the truth lies in the work. And so in order to earn the right to play in games like that and play at a high level, there's a process that has to be followed to get a young player there that is talented. And, man, what a tough time in today's age of college football for a kid to understand that sometimes because of all the other influences and things to get through. But it's my belief he's trusted us and getting him to that point. So he's been through our developmental lift program with Mike Joseph and the weight strength staff guys. He's gotten up early when he didn't want to and done that. He showed up on time and learned how to do that, which has allowed him to gain strength, change his body, and learn some discipline in his life. He's trusted the course. He's learned how to practice really hard. He's understood why I've had a foot up his, all the time, and why being great matters all the time. And so he got a little bit of taste of what that could be. And so now the challenge is even more commitment to make sure that stays consistent and he continues to play that way. But it was a good step for him individually, and it was good to see. He's certainly capable of that and more, and we expect all our guys to play at a higher level.
What do you make of this Texas defense? I mean, they played well at times this year.
Yeah, you sure? I mean, you turn the film on, and they're still good players on that field. Their front is massive. They play with 3-down guys that are huge and are pluggers. They run around well and do some great things, and you see flashes of the ability to play great defense. So that's what you see on film. Our guys are already they already know that about them, that they are gifted and talented and they line up and play hard still. There's not an effort issue on their side of the ball, so it'll be another big test for us.
Can you give an overall grade to blocking in your screen packages so far this year? And if there's one thing you could dial it up a little bit on in terms of performance, what that would be?
Yeah, so, for the most part in the last 2 years I've been very pleased with how we blocked the perimeter. Certainly, the one we had last week where we got hit and didn't take of our guy, because we've always challenged our guys is pretty simple. We want to make sure our guys have trust when their eyes are not downfield, that they can trust their brothers to make sure they're clean. And we lost one of those last week. It's a fundamental issue and a footwork issue that I got to make sure and have solved because it falls on me. And should have had him in a better situation to have it done. We know how to quickly fix it. So that one was unfortunate, but for the most part, our guys have battled. You turn the film on, I tell my guys, I want my dad to be able to watch a film who doesn't know much about football and to be able to turn it on with no volume and say, man, these guys play their ass off, And there's been, for the most part, we've done that, but there's been a couple where we haven't, and I've challenged the guys, we've challenged the guys to make sure when we turn that thing on, it better look like we're going to go dig people out and do it with purpose, and we've got to make sure that that's all the time and not just 95% of the time. So it's never going to be good enough in my eyes, but, we're closer. We're closer, and we've got 2 games to still fix that, and that's it still matters,
The other part I was thinking about is like on the tunnel screens where you're sweeping a couple linemen down the field also, their ability to get to people in space.
Yeah, no, good call. I think, honestly, we've done that better. Our guys, we've kind of used the term relative spacing. So if I'm as close as I am to this mic right now, that's not good spacing for 2 linemen out on the screen. So if you notice, the ones that have hit well, Coach Moore and those guys have started to have pretty good relative spacing. Like, hey, let's space out. If we do that, we're able to kind of find guys in traffic and get our guys free. Our guys have hit those with more confidence. We found some confidence in our screen game, which was a really big point of emphasis going into the season. It is something we need to continue to find ways to do. I hope that continues to be a strength of ours.
Offensive line overall, there's been a lot of talk about them, positives and negatives. So have you seen growth over the year, or is it still a roller coaster with that?
Yeah, I think we're probably on the better end of the roller coaster right now, to be quite honest with you. We've also got to go to say, hey, we played better, but at the same time, it's a performance-driven profession, right, player and coach. So although our numbers may not reflect, we are playing more consistently. We're covering guys up better. We don't have guys running free. Now it's the point of being able to take over the line of scrimmage sometimes, move people more, to be able to make the difference. And that's not just falls on them. We've also got to challenge ourselves as ball carriers to make sure we make guys miss when we get them to the one hat. We've got to challenge ourselves to finish things in the end zone and not have to call another play. And so there's a lot that goes into that. Our RPO game and run screens that allow us to have relief when there's an extra fitter in the box. So it's a lot to it. But I would say overall we're on the better end of that. Those 5 guys consistently are straining more. They know they've got to continue to be better, as we all do. But there is some consistency there. I think there's pride in trying to take steps to be physical. And those 5 guys that have played the bulk of our reps, especially the last 2 weeks, have taken steps to getting better, and we'll have to continue to.
Okay, anything else for Coach Parker? All right, thank you very much.
Hey, thank you all.